at 9:20 if you ever earn points, miles, cash back on your credit card, and you know how valuable those rewards can be. But a new poll suggests that those perks could be in jeopardy, and we don't even know it yet. So joining us this morning is Nick Ewan, Senior Editorial Director at The Points Guy, breaking down what this means, what it could mean, and especially for asking, where's the money? Nick, thanks for joining us this morning.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
If you would, set up the situation. What are we looking at? What is this poll about?
Yeah, so right now there are efforts underway at the federal level, but more recently at the state level that could really upend how you pay for goods and services and then the rewards that you can earn. So there's actually a piece of legislation that has already been passed in Illinois, and the poll shows that a surprisingly few number of respondents are even aware that these efforts are under consideration. We found that less than 1/3 was aware that these things were being considered, but once they were made aware of the potential impact, the opposition to them rose significantly. So more than 4 out of 5 respondents said that they want the payment system to remain intact as is. And over half said that they are very concerned about the possibility of losing some of those rewards that they have really come to rely on a daily basis.
How do these rewards programs work? How are they funded?
Yeah, so whenever you swipe a credit card at a small business or at a large retailer, the merchant is charged a small processing fee called the interchange fee that averages about 2%, and that has remained flat for over a decade now. That interchange fee is used by the issuing bank of the card to invest in fraud protection, security around the payment infrastructure, short-term lending, and then also those rewards. So when you look at significantly changing how credit card transactions are processed, that could lead to credit card issuing banks pulling back on the rewards that they offer to consumers. And that's unfortunately what we've already seen with this law in Illinois that's been passed, and a number of other jurisdictions that are looking at similar pieces of legislation.
All right, so what shifts then in the people's thinking once they hear these details?
Yeah, so a lot of people are really concerned about the potential of having their rewards impacted. And what's super interesting is a lot of these proposed pieces of legislation, as well as the one passed in Illinois, they are claiming to protect small businesses and reduce the burden of them on fees. But our poll found an interesting little side note that if the rewards are impacted as part of this, more than half of our respondents plan to cut back their spending at small businesses. So the very individuals that these proposed pieces of legislation are supposed to help will actually be impacted negatively. And the bottom line is that our payment ecosystem works very seamlessly and is something that a lot of Americans rely on to support their household bottom lines with the rewards that they are earning. Injecting any level of confusion for consumers as well as small businesses would be a really challenging thing to sell to constituents.
And is this something that can happen relatively soon?
So the law in Illinois could actually take effect on July 1st of this year. They're still pending federal litigation, so there's still some uncertainty there. But we've also seen at the national level some potential legislation being slipped in as amendments to larger spending bills. So a lot of this can happen at the 11th hour. If you want to stay informed, your best bet is to go to guardyourcard.com. That's where we break down everything that you need to know about what's happening and allow you to stay informed as how this could impact you as a consumer or you as a small business owner if you are running an organization.
All right, then, as far as consumers wanting to protect our rewards right now, is there anything we can do right now?
Yeah, at Guard Your Card, you actually can reach out to your legislator, both at the state level or the federal level. Let them know that you want the rewards, the payment ecosystems to stay intact. That's going to be the most important thing because a lot of these bills originate with kind of legislatures saying, you know what, we're going to try to implement these restrictions without actually understanding the knock-on effects that it could have on just the everyday transactions that Americans are using on a daily basis.
Oh, very interesting. Nick Ewan, thank you so much for joining us. Something we need to watch out for. Guardyourcard.org. Thank you so much for the information.